Good evening to you guys. Tonight I'm talking about the subject every one of us in entrepreneurship knows very well. If you've run a small business or two, you have been through what I'm going to speak about tonight, and that is none other than non-paying customers, customers that don't pay. They ask for you to do a service for them, they ask for a product, then from there for you to get the payments is a lot of work. You have to battle before you can get the payment from this kind of a customer. But I want to give you tips on how to handle those kinds of customers, guys. And most importantly, you need to know that if you can spot the red lights from the beginning of the relationship, if possible, stay away from the relationship. Just avoid that kind of a relationship. It's for your good. It will lessen your stress. Your heart will pump very well in the morning without you being bothered by people that don't pay you. Remember, this can be a new customer or it can be a customer. What I've been experiencing recently is customers that I have served in a very long time, and now suddenly getting them to pay is a problem. You send out an invoice, but for the invoice to be paid up, it's a problem. You have to follow up and follow up and follow up until you get avoided. Remember, by the time the customer now starts to ignore your emails, by the time they start to ignore your calls, now it spells the death of a relationship. In most cases, they don't care if they lose you as their supplier or if they don't, because normally they probably have found someone that is started quoting them a bit cheaper than you were, and that is not a customer to trust. At that point in time, usually I just walk away once I've made every attempt to get the payment and I can see that there is no respect. At the beginning, the relationship is preceded by a respect. Usually you want to maintain the respect you as a supplier. They usually just default on their own. Let's talk about the new customer. A new customer that is coming on board in your business. I always say this: always demand a payment upfront. Listen to me, guys. This is standard business. You are not being rude. It's the normal way of doing business. Big companies do that. They ask for 50%, they ask for 60%, or they ask for 70%. They do that. So in the beginning of my entrepreneurship career, I used to think, let me do it for them. If I ask for payment upfront, I might lose them. Look, if you lose them, good. You will find a paying customer. There's a lot of customers out there. Remember, I always say that a business is only called a business when it has a paying customer. If you don't have a paying customer, you are not in business. So you can always say, may I very kindly request or outline my terms. My terms are that I usually ask for 50% upfront or for 65% upfront before I can commence with the work. Once we get the payments on our side, in fact, I then changed my invoices, say once the payment reflects on my side, that's when I can start doing the job. That's when I can send whatever it is they are buying from me. I want the payment to reflect on my side as a first thing before I can do business. Do not get told we will pay tomorrow. Okay, if they say pay tomorrow, just let them know that. Always outline your conditions at the beginning of a relationship. So with a customer that's been existing and now they are battling to pay you, you know the drill, guys. You send the invoice, you keep sending the emails, and now they are not responded to. Or if you put a call through, eventually they master your number, or they simply say to someone, tell them I'm not here, I'm on leave, or the person directly speaks to you. They say, we will pay your invoice on Friday. Do not let it slide like that. Usually when they say to me, we will pay the invoice on Friday morning, the first thing, 8:30, I put a call through to very kindly request for a proof of payment. Would you very kindly attach for me the proof of payment once you've done the payment? But I do not say that on a Tuesday when they tell me that they are paying on Friday. No, I wait for Friday. In the morning, I want to have something real that can engage us in a conversation. then I know that I'm waiting for a payment. So in the back of my mind, I know that they are knocking off. They're either knocking off at 1 or at 2 or at 3. So around 11:30, I just follow up with an email. But always make sure that when you follow up with an email, put as an attach that invoice. Whenever you are following up on an invoice that hasn't been paid, always attach it in the mail. If in case you have to do a site visit to ask for payments, always make sure that you've got the paperwork in your hand. Because why? Some of them, you get there, you're like, I'm following up on a payment, and they know how much they're owing you. They know the work you have done, and they have the invoice in their system. I mean, the person can simply retrieve the email by just typing your name or your email address on their computer. But they tell you that go bring the paperwork. So if you are armed with the paperwork, be it is printed or is there in your phone, in your telephone device, you can always say, let me just email it to you just now. But always make sure that you are prepared. But if you have to go and get your money because somebody has been avoiding you and keeps avoiding you, just bear in mind that it might be the last step of your relationship. So I don't want you getting there saying that I'm going to be aggressive. Some people do that, but aggression doesn't normally solve a lot of things in the game of asking for payment. So you want to go there and still be kind and still say, I really cared for this relationship. I really am happy that we've pushed so far. We've come a long way, you and I, and you've always indicated that I've done it. I've always been doing an excellent job for you. So what is it that I'm not doing right, which I can correct? Or what can I do on my side to make sure that this relationship continues to work? Usually what the customer will do is they will say something very nice when you are here. They will say something nice when you are on the phone. But the moment you get out the door, the moment you put down the phone, is the end for them, and they begin the game of starting to avoid you. I remember in the beginning when I had done some free work for some people, I thought, I was still naive anyway. I thought a customer, when they say they're paying at the end of the month, they are going to pay at the end of the month. But, eventually I folded. I just thought, what, I'm just following up on this guy for 12 months. I'm just following up on this guy for 1 year, 6 months. Let me just let him go. Let me just move on with my life, because at some point in your life you've got to think about moving on when you can see that the relationship with the customer is not working. Just like in any other normal relationship, if things are not working, they are not working, and you need to preach to yourself. You need to say, I need to move on because things are not working out for me. Because why? It can sap out all your energy concentrating on this single customer, but there is so much customers out there in the business landscape. You can always move on and look for a customer or two if this one is a difficult one. I think we did a video on handling a difficult customer, but in this case we are talking about payments. Just always make sure that you do your part. Please do not hope that a human being is a very good person. They will keep their word. The relationship is going to be based on integrity. Integrity does not exist unless it is tested and proven. And do not leave your relationship with a customer to a point where your relationship will be tested, because it won't be proved. It will be proved by, look, you don't have to trust me, you can go and look for another customer. So always bear that in mind. But that is business, that is entrepreneurship, and there is nothing wrong with you asking for your payment up front. Always make sure that